What's going on, everybody? It's Fragged Out, Swagged Out, and you already know why I'm here. And today, I have a brand new fragrance that you probably haven't even heard of. And honestly, I did not hear about the fragrance of the brand until I was approached by the house themselves. The house is HEZ Parfums. They are a fragrance house out of New Orleans. And yes, this first fragrance out of their collection is going to be kind of encapsulating the vibe that you would get in one particular area of New Orleans and it is Bourbon Street, the world famous Bourbon Street. So they did contact me, and like I always tell everybody, hey, if you've seen my content and you know what I like and you want to send me what you got, shoot your shot. If I like it, I'll review it, and if I don't, I will humbly say, sorry, it's not for me. But I'm doing the review, so you already know what that means. So we'll start off with how it came. Came as a little memento style box, where you keep little photos, your ex-girlfriend from high school's letters, all that stuff. Anyway, and it says Rue Bourbon in there. It's a little address, street sign. And inside it had the little card with the thank you from the perfumer. HEZ, and this right here is the actual bottle. So if you see the size, it is a standard 30 ml, kind of what you'll get from dual size bottles, right? So the fragrance, like I said, is from New Orleans. The entire line will kind of be based on different aspects of the actual creator of the brand, HEZ Binkowitz, and his experiences growing up in the area. So again, this first fragrance, which is kind of taking his feel or his experiences in Bourbon Street, the times that he was going out, enjoying those experiences, eating, drinking, and, taking in what Bourbon Street gives out to everybody. And I'll put this way, so just in case you forget what the bottle looks like, which you shouldn't, you can see it there. So as always, let's go over the notes. So the notes here you're gonna get on top are gonna be apple, cinnamon. In the middle you're gonna get tobacco, bourbon, and tonka bean. And in the base you're gonna get sandalwood, cedar, and vanilla bean. So let's get into the fragrance. So right off the bat, what I'm going to tell you is this. If I were going to generalize the fragrance, I'm going to tell you it's a vanilla-centric fragrance. But is it just vanilla? It's absolutely not. For me, although the vanilla is in the base, the vanilla is truly at the heart of this fragrance. From the opening to the dry down, it's the heart. And everything else is kind of associated with that vanilla in different ways. So we'll start with the very, very top. You're going to have that apple and that cinnamon. And if your imagination is already going the way my nose does when it starts smelling it, you're already leaning to what kind of gourmand this creates, what that the accord creates. And it does give me this apple pie-ish vibe. It's a nice, more like a baked apple with cinnamon, so it's nice and spicy. And you start getting that vanilla rather quickly to my nose. It's kind of creamy as well. So they do have the sandalwood at the base. But again, a lot of those aspects come up early. So it's a very creamy apple, cinnamon, vanillic aroma that you're going to get from the very opening. Now, I did get the dry down over here from earlier, as I typically do. Yeah, and it's kind of the same concept, but more developed, and more importantly, it's how it changes. Now, it does have tobacco, it does have bourbon, but this is not going to be an overly boozy fragrance. If you like boozy, but tamed, this is it. The tobacco is kind of sweet, not overly earthy. It doesn't smell like cigarettes, although it does have a little bit of smokiness, but it's more like an incensey kind of smoke. It doesn't come off like anything burnt. Yeah, and it almost comes off like something kind of nutty as well. That Tonka and that vanilla, as they come up, and I guess with that cedar giving it that extra creaminess, it gives it an extra level of kind of gourmand vibe to that apple pie feel. It's almost like apple pie with cinnamon and caramel almost. But still, it goes in its own direction because, again, it has that tobacco and that bourbon booziness that it adds to it. But it's not overly boozy. It's not overly tobacco. It's not cloyingly sweet either. It's just very well balanced in different ways that really do give you an idea of what you would get in Bourbon Street, right? Again, I've never been, but everything I've smelled so far that represents New Orleans in one way or another always kind of draw from those gourmand aspects, from that tobacco, from that booze, and they do it their own way. So, right off the bat, if you're wondering if this right here reminds me of one of my favorite fragrances to represent the same city, and this is the city rhythm interpretation of New Orleans. No, because city rhythm goes a very rich, boozy, very earthy, kind of strong tobacco, and a very, very explosive praline in here, which goes a very different direction. Both fragrances represent the same city, but they do it in their own ways. Yeah, I'm not quitting New Orleans either. This is just another interpretation of from someone else's perspective of the same city, someone who lived there most of their life. So it really, really gives you the take from a person who lived there forever and is kind of reflecting on their time in their city. So this brand right here, HEZ Parfums, this is the only fragrance they have on their website right now. This presentation right here, which is their 30 ml, like I said, is retailed right now $40 on the website. So if you like it, you can try it out for $40, and it's so inexpensive that if you're that in love with it, you know you're gonna run through it, you can afford to back a bottle the next day. Here's the other thing. Me personally, when I fall in love with a fragrance, I'm looking to fall in love with a brand. And when I can't get that, I usually shy away. So the first thing I ask is, hey, this is dope. What else do you have? Is anything else coming out? And yes, they have 2 more fragrances coming out. They have a more feminine leaning fragrance that will be dropping around the summertime, I believe. And that is Creux de Fleur. And then the one that I'm really looking forward to, which should be out by the end of the year, and that is going to be Voodoo Shop. That is going to be an amber, vanilla, incensey fragrance. I'm the kind of person, when I get my mind wrapped around certain notes, I get excited early. So if it does what it's supposed to do, and the notes hit the way this one does, where you read it and you kind of get the vibe of what they're giving you, then it's going to be a great one. Overall, I'm a really big fan. For this price point, you really cannot go wrong. Listen, for this price point, you can't go wrong. For the fragrance itself, if it was $60 more, you still couldn't go wrong. And man, I'm telling you, if you like a fragrance that starts nice and sweet and starts to develop into a little more booze and a little more smoke, this has that nice kind of mysterious vibe. Is a term you hear a lot. It's an incensey kind of smoky, sweet resonance thing that is doing here. Not overly boozy, but man, just nice wafts of tobacco, slight booze, and gourmands and vanilla in here, which are, it's really hard to believe this is actually $40. And hopefully words like that will make the brand go and up the price on y'all. But this is a great fragrance. I absolutely think this is a fragrance that you should check out if you're into those gourmands that blend booze and spices together. And if you like the smell of apple pie or a rendition of it, you should definitely check this out. This is my opinion, of course. You know, you'll have your own. And as always, if you have your own comments or anything you would like to add, if you have smelled it, leave it in the comment. If you found this helpful in any way, or you're going to go check it out, leave it in the comment and give me a thumbs up. And lastly, if you're watching this and you're not following, but you think you might come back later to watch some more videos, please do that because it'll help the channel. That's all I have for you. Fragged out, swagged out, and I'm out.